Thanks, Dave. Obviously, great to get fans back in and be loud. It's the first time for a lot of these guys they played in front of a sold-out crowd, so really appreciate the energy and the boost, and hopefully they enjoyed watching this team play and have watched this team grow. So obviously, defensively, I thought we were pretty good for the most part, specifically in the first half. Second half, I thought we did a better job, and even the end of the first half of slowing down a little bit offensively, finishing better. And obviously we were able to bust the game open and get a good win. So proud of our guys, and now we get to get ready for step into league play. Questions?
Back there, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Chucky said many times they just give it to Johnny and get the F out of the way. How well does that work for your team?
Well, I think, he's being able to be effective because of the teammates around him, finding him in the right spots, but also the floor spacing that gets created. When you got Brad, the ability to knock down threes, Steven hit a couple today. The spacing creates, obviously bigger alleys for him or Chucky or Tyler. We had a lot of guys make plays off the dribble. And that doesn't happen if you don't have to guard the other guys on the floor. So, I think Johnny would be the first to tell you that, the credit for him to be able to go do those individual things starts with how his teammates put him in those positions.
Gard, after the Georgia Tech game, we talked about how your team responded to the hostile crowd of Georgia Tech. Can you kind of compare from that experience to how you thought they responded with such a supportive crowd tonight?
Yeah, I know they don't score any points or rebound, but we like going through last year without anybody here. I think the guys that are back, although it's very few of them that know what this place is like when it gets full and gets loud. They appreciate that. So, it's still about the crowd only gets loud if we play well. It's not really inversed, or reversed. So we have to play well for the crowd. But hopefully, like I said earlier, they should enjoy watching this team play because this team's been fun to coach and very unselfish, very together. But obviously we're only at the beginning. We got a lot of things to get better at.
Greg, we've talked at length about Chucky's defense, but today he contributed some key baskets, and Steven Krell sometimes has been tentative, but looked more comfortable today. What did those two guys give you on the offensive end of the court?
Well, Steven, as you mentioned, looked more comfortable, specifically as the game progressed. I thought he got more and more patient, and was able to finish better. And I think at one point in time in the first half when I asked our GA what we were in the paint, we were 3 for 12. We finished 6 for 15. So we finished the first half well, and then obviously the second half when you shoot almost 71%, you're obviously getting the ball to high percentage areas. So, but I think Chucky more than anything set the tone defensively at the end of the first half. We were not good in ball screen situations, and it started with not enough ball pressure, and he changed that, and we were able to obviously go into halftime with a little bit of a lead. But I thought we had gotten some things shored up a little bit better toward the last 3-4 minutes of the first half, and started with the job done on the ball.
Greg, Chuck had said that some of the threes that Brad was hitting were some back-breaking kind of threes, but I'm sure some of the and one buckets as well sort of contributed to that. What do you think fueled that hot shooting for you all in the second half?
Well, we were able to get a lot of things in the paint. I haven't seen a shot chart yet, but I think we had a lot of high percentage shots, and that when you play inside out, that helps. And then obviously getting to the free throw line is always a priority. We did that. We were in the bonus relatively quick. I think by the second media timeout, we were in the bonus. So all those things, not one specific thing, all those things put together kind of help. And when you can play inside out and you get some confidence with playing in the paint and getting to the free throw line, that makes the perimeter shooting, you take those shots with more confidence because of what else has transpired.
Ben?
Great teams have tried to pressure your young front court quite a bit with 3/4 pressure this year. How do you feel they've handled it up to this point, and where do you see growth from them from game to game?
Yeah, I think both Chucky and Lauren have Lauren had a couple of miscues today. I thought he was too tentative with it a couple times. He had the charge and he had another turnover, but just attacking that a little bit better, and that's one thing that they're both freshmen. So, but for Chucky to have 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and get pressed for every time he was in the game, that's a pretty good sign that a freshman. Both of them have been more mature than their years. You know, they're wise beyond their years, and they understand, you know, what we want, and they do a pretty good job of getting us to where we need to get to.
Right up here, Coach.
Coach, this is your first time going against Marquette with Coach Smart, who's obviously pretty famous for his full court press. How happy are you with how your team handled that press with only a few turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to watch the tape, you know. I mean, it's not the first time we've been pressed, you know. Like, we used to press all the time in Platteville. It's nothing new. Obviously, to see a team do it for 40 or trying to do it for 40 minutes, but we've been pressed before, you know, previous games. Teams have, so that's part of the game. You have to work on that all the time. It wasn't anything new that we had to invent going into today. We talk about taking care of the ball from the moment they set foot on campus, so they understand how important that is.
Chris, do you think your team might end up being difficult to scout in this regard, that there's going to be some nights where maybe you might not even know going in where you're going to get your key contributions from?
Yeah, because I have not known where we're going to get them. So I think that's the beauty of this team, is that, you know, and the excitement about it is that there's so much unknown. There's so many obviously new faces, but also just how these guys have collectively helped each other. And it's not about stats. It's about all the other, you know, different things that they've done. You know, Chris Boat diving on the floor the other night at Georgia Tech to save a ball. He dove on the floor today. I mean, just little things that invigorate and help teammates. And like I said, this group it's fun to watch them perform because they put their heart and soul into it.
Okay, two more questions, one here and one here. Go ahead.
Marquette's Iguodaro gave you a little bit of trouble in the first half, but then you completely shut him down. He didn't score in the second half. What do you guys think your team did to correct how he was getting open underneath the basket?
We were better in the ball screens, like I talked about earlier. He was the recipient of the role when we were not as good as we needed to be in the ball screens.
Final question right here.
Everyone's been talking about Johnny Chucky's, and rightly so, but what do you feel like you have this year? It almost seems like a secret weapon with Brad because he is so experienced. That first half, he was more of a conductor, seeing how the game flowed, and only had 5 or 6 points. In the second half, he ends with 20, because you could tell when he could see the stretch starting to come, that's when he kind of jumped and struck, like, okay, I'm going to add on to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think much like Johnny is the recipient and benefactor of teammates, Brad very much so too. You know, he got loose on against the press once. You know, he's smart, he's tough, he's experienced. I said the other night at Georgia Tech, I'm glad he's on our team because he does so many things. Obviously, he scored today and scored well at Georgia Tech, but he does so many things from a leadership standpoint and and he's done a very good job through kind of leading from the back, so to speak. You know, other guys have grown into their roles and in their voice, and he's very measured in terms of when he does become vocal and picks his spots.